Alrighty, time to move some stuff out the way. I got some batteries, so I can now burn cut some foam. As you saw the other night, we did some falling down tree bits and some stumps. Oh man, I am psyched that I have almost no space over here on my shelf. It's a very good sign. Come a long way. Got some plants that we painted up a little bit. I'll add a little more detail to them once they're in. And I did a bunch of Necrons as skeletons for my diorama. I've also got Trazen lying around here somewhere. Oh my god, so much stuff. So much plastic. I think like 6 or 7 months ago, I just had almost nothing. There's a little Trazen for you. I have my camera out tonight, because I can start cutting. It's still probably not out far enough. There's a big old white piece of foam board, and I have a strange weapon. Go ahead and clear some stuff out here. Where did I put that strange weapon? There it is. Not the safest looking thing in the world, but apparently it's for cutting foam. I also have a box cutter if I need it. Got a modeling saw if I need it. Basically, this thing just has 2C batteries in it. And you'll note that the coily thing is on the same side on this, which is pretty wild. This copper thing, when it makes contact in there, heats this little wire up to 300 degrees. And then we start cooking. So my diorama, which I it's probably blown out. You probably can't even see it. Let me see if I can fix that a little bit. So much white. It's got a little circle here. Let's see what else I can turn off. I think that's probably all I can really turn off for now. Well, maybe something else. Big stretch. All right, because I've got so much white in this shot. I'm gonna do a pond here. Do some tombstones here. I'll probably do maybe another 4 there. And then this section up in the corner is going to be raised a couple times, and I'll put a little, like not a huge mausoleum, but a little sort of roofed thing over there. So that's kind of the rough plan on here. I'm basically going to hack this part off so that eventually the diorama will sit like this. The walls will be in the back and the front. And then I'll use this piece to cut up more bits. For the pond, I'm just going to smush it if that works. If it doesn't, I got to cut another piece and make this taller. But I only need to go down a couple millimeters to get that to work. And even with just my finger, it does kind of push in. And in the instructions, they kind of say, hey, hit it with a rock. All right, so I'm firing this thing up. Let's see if I can go somewhat steady. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And I just realized I'm not going to make it all the way through this. I'm not going to do that at all. So it is cutting through with a neat sizzly sound. We're definitely going box cutter. That should have made sense to me ahead of time. Can only go that far in, but that's cool. Alright, so without completely slashing myself, I can get all the way down to where that cut went. I did. A nice little fold in there. Hopefully this whole thing will just finally fit in the shot. That cutter is pretty darn cool though. There we go. Alright, that, my friends, is a diorama in its infancy. There we go. That's a little less bright. So, the first thing I need to do, cut a couple pieces. This is going to be raised and then raised and then raised. I don't quite know how tall I need to do it. I don't know if 3 steps will be good because it'll all be 45 degrees and that might be a little nuts and I might have to carve some stairs into it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So all I really need to do now, I hope, basically just kind of mark this guy here, mark this guy here, and then cut through. Hopefully I'm going remotely straight. Turn the corner. Apparently this thing gets up to like 300 degrees. Oh my god, it's not straight. Alright. But it doesn't much matter. I have a piece that now fits in that corner. I need to do that. Again, this piece just seems to be about that size, so I'll mark him up. If I had a pen, it would be Schmada. Alright, so from that edge, basically just cut that piece down. This is actually a heck of a lot of fun. This is from I think all these bits are from the Army Painter, which is a pretty cool brand. All the stuff that I've used from them has been quite dope. Wonder how long it takes for that thing to cool off. Alright, get my head in the shot, why not? There we go. A couple marks. Now, when I stack these guys up, I'm going to have to glue them together and then sort of shave them down again. Oh, this thing goes straight through like a hot knife through butter. That is about as satisfying as it sounds. Alright, so in theory, we got one piece. We got two piece. That's a little bit long. Let me chuck that guy down a bit. But then that'll be raised up in that corner. So right now, let's just hack another piece off of this guy and just eyeball it. There we go. That'll be up in that corner. That'll be all the way in the back, and my little mausoleum thing will sit like that. If that makes sense. I hope it's, as I pull one of my weird hairs out of there, I hope it's big enough for it. I'll probably fully corner it. That's probably a good idea. That makes sense. I'll fully corner it. Alright, so I want it to be about yay long. And this is my first time doing this, so I'm really just eyeballing everything. I'm not too worried about it being perfect. It's a pretty rushed job. And the main point of this project is to just learn to use the tools and the media. Oh, that's so satisfying. I can see myself really getting into this. Alright, so that's about that big. Cut another one of these bad boys out. I'm guessing I probably need 3 of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stack these up and just straight up glue them together. What that'll do is give me a nice block. And I'll see if it's tall enough. And then when it's one block, yeah, 3 is probably the magic number there. It'd be nice and miraculous if this is the right size. It is the right size. Miracles do happen. Alright. When it's glued together, then I'll fry it so that I can have a nice little peak on it. The edges will be tight. At least as tight as I can get them. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. 300 degrees of power. There we go. All right, so just mocking it up to be pretty tall before I hit it up. I'm wondering if I need a double stack like this to get. I need another piece. At the very least, I need another one of these guys. Corner, edge, measure 0 times, still cut once. And I've only ever used prefab modular bits to build like D&D stuff. Never. I should just cut this guy to fit, just in case. I've never actually just cut raw foam. It's pretty pathetic because everybody does it. Every nerd I know does it. Alright, so if I block these out, yeah. Alright, so here's what this looks like. 1, 2, 3. This thing will be in the corner there to get some height. So we got some elevation in one corner. Don't want to glue this stuff down yet because I got to figure out what I'm going to do as far as ramping goes. And that can't go absolutely kitty cornered. I have some glue I got to pull out. I don't know, this stuff, water-based glue, sealer finish, never used it. First time for everything. Let's do this. I have a weapon somewhere here. Alright, so this is going to require a brush. And I got glue all over my hand. Business for you. Just grab a paper towel over here. Always have a roll of paper towels on hand. We knew this would get messy. Alright, Mod Podge. Let's see how you do. Do I have something to pour some in? Do I just grab a brush and Alright, I'll use this thing. I don't even remember what's in there. I think it's probably streaking grime. But that's okay. A little bit of war crime isn't bad. Try very carefully not to spill this everywhere. Alright, well, let's get some of this on. This is an absolutely like super cheap dollar store plastic brush. And I hope the glue doesn't stink too bad when this thing comes together, and then I start burning it again. Oh, I am used to modeling glue and crazy glue that come together real fast. This looks like it needs some time. That's all right, we'll just keep going. No idea if this is enough glue. I hope it is. Get my head in the shot while I look this guy over. That'll go there. Mod Podge. It's fun to say. Alright, so it looks to be on there pretty well. come apart? It doesn't. All right, so it's a little faster than I thought. But I'm going to give this block a little time to think. I'll just set it over here. Let it ponder life. So another thing I need to do is beat the daylights out of where that palm's going to be. And to do that, I need something pretty strong, pretty violent. Do I have any rocks lying around? I think I do. We'll see. Yeah, one of these should be good. Let's have some random gravel from my backyard. I'll just push everything in all the way up to that edge. Maybe not let the glue just roll right in there. Only need a couple of centimeters of depth, but I'm not sure I'm going to actually get it. Or maybe I need something bigger and stronger. Maybe I need to be bigger and stronger. Just crush this down. The interesting thing is, once you get started crushing it, the pieces around it go in a lot easier. And I do want the edge to be uneven, so that's a good thing. Just keep crushing it. Just needs enough depth for the liquid to settle. If I decide it needs more depth, well, I'll figure that out. I could just scoop some of the foam out, I'm guessing. Made it look so easy. It is the tiniest rock. That is for sure. Alrighty. Well, that is nice and smushed in, but it's not really smushed in enough. I should dig some of that out. Let's see if this actually gets in there and digs anything out. Of course, I don't want to put a hole in the bottom of this thing, but yeah, that's by no means an ASMR treat. Having someone pull foam apart, but if it's your thing, it's your thing. Right. So I'm just going to get in there and keep scooping out bits of foam, little by little. Didn't get myself, but I could be careful and not stab myself with a metal tool. The sweet sound of foam. Just digging this pond out, this is actually working way better. I think it was necessary that I crushed it though, because it compressed the top layer of it down a bit. Made it a lot easier. Scooch that a little bit. Basically, we're just going to get in here, dig this out, because it seems like the right thing to do. Well, the pointy tip is definitely the way to go. Digging away at foam to make my little pond here. There's definitely a smarter way to do this. Smart's not really my thing. There's a first time for everything. Turn this a little bit here, get a different angle. great is as I'm putting my fingernail down on it, I'm totally adding incorrect texture to it, but that's life. All about hard lessons. There we go. So I don't think I need to scoop it out completely, but enough material getting out of there. And I should be able to then paint it, fill it up with faux water, get a good murky pond. Have that guy sitting in there. I'll paint him up. Give him some, I don't know, I gotta figure out what legion he should be from. But he's missing from the waist up. Have him creeping out of the pond would be fun. But for now, we're just digging out foam. Alright, that's a little bit more sane. We've still got a few bits to pluck out of there, but it's, well, not fun, is working. Basically tonight, if I could just get this to the point where tomorrow, if it dries up at all, I can prime this thing, I'll be in a good spot. You know what I'm going to do, smart guy? I'm going to put the lid on my huge thing of Mod Podge glue and not spill it all over myself tonight. Alright, just a few more bits. This actually is working out. Now that I'm in there a little, I can see it. It is all popping. That was odd. Oh, it's like a fingernail strip. I'm not sure I should have done that, but it is what it is. Alright, that thing is reasonably dug out. I think I can probably squish the rest of it. Get it done that way. Let's see, let's go back to the rock method in a moment. It's one of these moments where I know I don't know what I'm doing, but I really feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Tomorrow I'll look this up on the internet, just see like some absolutely simple thing. Probably heat related. You just, not unlike that cutter, you just get in there with something and yeah, that is not squishing anymore. That is not squishing. I'm going to check this stuff out. I have a huge pile of random scrap. Put that in the recycling bag. Not the one that goes to the curb, the one that goes to the dump. That is all foam core stuff. Alright, well, that was challenging. And I do need to do more. I wonder if there is a smarter way to do this. Well, ingenuity is the mother of invention. Not saying this is smart, but I want to see if it works. It would need to be a lot hotter. Alright, if I could keep this thing hot, that would absolutely work. I'm not sure I'm going to sit here and keep relighting this thing all night and breathing in the fumes. Maybe I will. Just knocking a few years off my life here. All right. Yeah, when it gets good and hot, it gets in there. That does work. Don't do this at home. This is such a bad idea, but you know what? It's late. Kids are in bed. My wife just got in. I mean, it's also allowing me to smooth this thing out nicely. All right, I'm a little proud of myself now that I've ingenuitied this thing up. There we go. Get all around that edge. You know, it's funny, it's almost too deep now. But that's all right. That's what you get. Of course, now this guy can actually sit in there, though, so maybe this was the right call. All right, time to find out. All right, it's still got some depth to it. The bottom of it. You got a little sizzle when I put it in the water. Yeah, that was not wise. You go ahead and throw it in your brush water. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, it's going to need a special cleaning. We'll just leave you in there, buddy. All right, so heat good. Lesson learned. I gotta find a way to rig up a piece of metal that I can just continuously push in. Like, I feel like I don't know how hot it needs to be. Maybe just a kettle. But that worked, which is neat. It's very neat. So now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about this 3-tiered ledge. Now I'm thinking I could either do a stairwell just in one section, 2 sections, or straight down this thing. I'm not sure how smart that is. I am curious to find out. Let's see if this stuff stuck together well. Not really. Not very well. Maybe I'll read the instructions. Wonder if crazy glue would absolutely tear it apart. Apply with a brush. Clean up while wet with soap and water. Water-based, non-toxic. For complete instructions, visit Plaid Online. All right, well, it definitely does not feel stuck. Not well. So I think that's staying overnight. Now I can use my cutter, and I have plenty of foam. I have stacks of this stuff now, so if this doesn't turn out well, that's fine. But I can use it to basically go at an angle. And if I do that, I should be able to just zoop. Makes it sound easy. Go there, there, there. Start like that. That's pretty neat. So now it's at least at an angle. Maybe it'll be a little bit stepped. Another one. Probably shouldn't touch that wire. And in theory, the last one gets us the whole way there. Now, eyeballing this, probably not the best, but I've cut a lot of steaks and stuff in my life. Maybe that's overconfidence. Yeah, that mathematically is pretty poor. Might have to take this whole thing and make it much more tall. I think what I did is basically the step up is big. It's pyramid-like. Maybe I don't want that much of a step. Maybe I don't even need this block. What I can do is just stand that up like that. Would that work? If I set it right, then I can just cut straight down at an angle. And maybe I'll be doing this a second time, but maybe I won't. That's pretty steep, right? That's hella steep. But I can sort that out later. I might just need another cut. Oh boy. There we go. Water bottle, you're back. Oh man, you're like my greatest supporter of all time. Yeah, I mean, it's the first time for everything, just chopping up foam. Thankfully, I have a lot of foam. Thank you very much. It's very generous. You're like a super generous person. I definitely appreciate it. You often catch me while I'm just sitting here by myself, rapping to myself. But that's really cool of you. And I appreciate your faith in my eyeball measurements. Oh man, just don't touch the hot wire. There we go. I mean, it's not great, but it's working. I got my bifocals on. A little shallower. Pop. Well, look at that. I mean, just by holding it tight like that, at least it's... I'm not going to have to fill it in with a bunch of goop. It could be worse. Could be a lot worse. Could be a heck of a lot worse. And now I'm just going to round the top. Once again, just eyeballing it. Oh, I'm so glad you have faith in me, water bottle. Give me the strength to just YOLO the daylights out of this thing. All right. This tool is officially awesome. It looks like it's from the 70s. It may very well be. It is the finest use of a couple C batteries. Oh, did I break it? Famous last words? Oh, it's not cooking anymore. Did I bust the wire? I can't tell. I can't tell. It might still be intact. Let's give it a test. I opened my big mouth being like, yeah, this thing's amazing. I summoned the chaos. So here's a question. I wonder how fast it cooks through a battery. I doubt it's the battery. Well, at the very least, I have that corner piece together. Wild. Just wild. Pop this thing back together. It is possible that this thing just fries through batteries. Definitely possible. Yep, it's cold. All right. Anyway, if I turn this guy around, diorama time. That square is where I wanted this ledge to be, and it fits. It's recessed down there, and that's fine. I'm going to fill that in with a bunch of garbage. My mausoleum in the corner. And if I corner it well, I can still fit a skeleton up here. In fact, it probably makes sense to figure out where a bunch of these guys go. And I can actually draw them in. Just clean this brush up a bit. I Actually, we just put some clean water over here. Always have a squeezy bottle of water. Oh, it's so much cooler in this room now. It's not that hot today, and B, I don't have to have all my lights on because I got a totally white backdrop blinding people. Nice. Okay, that works. That definitely cleans with water. So it did come with more wires. So there is that. I would have guessed the wire would have broken though. Sure, put your hand on it. Unless it's got a short in it. This thing can't possibly go through batteries that fast. It did. Alright, so let's check. Yeah, that's kind of grippy. I suppose I could just box cutter it. Oh, I got a saw. Be precise. Alright, modeling saw. Let's. Oh, that thing's coming apart. That's not going to work. Alright, so not many points for that glue yet. I mean, it is really not together. Barely stuck. I don't want to crazy glue it though. Like crazy glue probably melts foam. I'm just checking this thing out, making sure. I mean, what died? I grab another battery or two. Alrighty. Oh, I managed to keep 2 cats out of here. Said hi to my wife. My wife, Earth. Let's see if we already cooked through a battery. If we did, that'd be impressive. Absolutely not. Alright, so the wire must be kicked. I can just set this guy aside. Stress over that. It was pretty cheap. Just gonna saw it the old-fashioned way. No, we are not. That thing's just falling apart. All right. Well, we'll see if that bonds a bit more overnight. I'll just work on a different part. Just sit in the corner and behave. So one of the things that I need to do is eventually just prime this whole thing. I need to figure out where all my Necrons go, including that guy. I need to, yeah, I can just do general layout stuff. It's definitely important. So I grab my pen, tombstone, 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 tombstone. Then I can start looking at, I don't think I'm going to fit 10 Necrons here. Otherwise, they're just going to have to be like 2 lined up. What's a good number of Necrons? That was like the number 7. But that's because I'm a Death Guard guy. That's a pretty good number, though. All right, so we're in the super foreground. Scooch this back. There we go. Everything's right where it should be. Get those tombstones down. That's good. Those are just going to be the ends of popsicle sticks. And then I have foliage to put in. And some of these can actually go in here. Some of them will be like around the edges. These plants can actually go in. So I need to prime this whole guy. Hopefully it doesn't melt into the primer. Get some grass and some plants in here. Maybe just around the edges. Edges are good. That'll look good and murky. Now this guy crawling up. Wonderful dude. He can just be making his way out of the water, reaching forward. That'll be neat. Get a bunch of light on him. Put a plant right in the middle. And then I have more plants if I need them. Then I have other stuffs. Basically just fallen over tree bits. And I'm just marking this out to see how I feel about it right now. I could, that's tall enough where I could actually jam one of those guys in there, have him stand up. Maybe I will do that. I could just get that guy in there with some green stuff on the bottom. The nice thing about these is that they'll cast some pretty cool shadows if I front light it. So you can go like tree, tree, do some down branches. A stump. Do a stump back there. Do some more branches. You could even have it like sitting on a tombstone. And then this is actually supposed to be a tree. That could be glued in there. That wouldn't be too shabby. Tombstones in. And then basically the backdrop of this, I need a pretty big sky. I don't know if I have enough elevation yet. I don't know. I can put some skulls around it. I do need to make some props. Make some like jack-o'-lanterns, stuff like that. But I do have a couple just random pieces of stone wall. So in theory, I could corner that there, which would break up that back wall. And I could I could put your boy Trazen on top like he's giving a sermon. I could do that. I'm not sure that I will. I'm not sure that I won't. If I do it, it's got to come all the way out. That'll make the tombstones get a little cramped. That does look good and culty. I don't know. It's a neat thought. It's a neat thought to say the least. Is it enough stuff? And is it spooky enough? Well, it's always the question. I'll put my lighter away before I cause any more damage. Alright, so that does look like a pretty decent layout. I think now I can just pull all this stuff out. Getting back to you Necrons in a minute. And I think probably just going to do some more painting until I sort out what is up with my heat shtick. This guy's going to be so cool. I have other props too. I've got skulls galore. You know what? I gotta prime this thing anyway. I'm gonna call it a night. It's a short quest this evening, but I do have a ramped up piece of stuff. My wife did just get in. I would like to hang out with her for a bit. I do have that thing that hopefully dries. It'll be mausoleum-like. I've got places for my dudes to sit around. It's a decent start. A decent start. Hopefully it doesn't rain tomorrow and I can prime things up. Anywho, if you're watching this after the fact, thanks a bunch. Thanks again to my sponsor, Water Bottle Getting. Hit you with a boop heart. And we'll see you sometime soon. Hopefully we'll be able to start painting this thing next time. Ciao, ciao.